safe and well. I'm currently out on a walk with my dog Jessie, and I just thought I would share with you something that I've been doing over lockdown. I hope you've all noticed the amazing weather we've been having lately, although maybe not so much anymore. I've already been rained on a few times today, but it means we've been having some really clear skies, and I'm going to sound very weird, but I actually love going out at night time and sitting in my garden and just staring up into the stars. And it makes me think about how big and wonderful this universe is that we live in, and God created all of it. And me sitting in my garden looking up makes me feel quite small and seemingly insignificant in comparison to it all. But then I'm reminded of the Bible and how the Bible tells us how important we are to God. And it makes me think of some verses in Matthew in which Jesus says, look at the birds in the sky. They don't need to plant or harvest for food, and yet God feeds them. And look at the flowers. They don't need to make their own clothes, and yet they're beautiful. And how much more valuable are you and I to God? And I think at this time in particular, whenever it's quite easy to feel lonely or out of control with everything that's going on, it's so important to remember that the God who created the entire universe is looking out for us and watching over us, because he loves us with an immense love. So if you're ever out and you happen to see the stars in the sky, I hope you think about how big and amazing this universe is that we live in. And I hope you're reminded that the God who created all of it is looking after you right now and watching over you, because he loves you with a love that we can't even begin to comprehend. So I hope we'll all be able to walk together again soon, but in the meantime, I hope you continue to enjoy your own daily walks, and maybe next time you can go out at night time and see if you can spot any stars in the sky.
I've been out walking in Randallstown, and I have just stopped here at the weir in Neilsbrook, and I'm just looking across the water here. It's really beautiful, and the birds are singing. Maybe you can hear them in the video in the background, and I'm just thinking how great is our God, and how great is God's creation, and how great is God's love for us. And I would just like to quote one of my favourite verses, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. I hope yous are all keeping well, staying safe. I'm going to head on now, start walking again. So bye for now.
Hi everybody, how's it going? I just wanted to say hello and to share a wee thought with you that's been on my mind recently. I'm out for a walk in the lovely Randallstown. That's the viaduct just up there, if you can see it. So Randallstown is not where Ruben and I expected to be at this moment in time. We were actually away for a year in Spain whenever the lockdown came, and we had to travel home in March. And obviously we were sort of disappointed at the time because we had to cut our year abroad short, and we had a lot of plans what we were going to do whenever we were there. We'd planned to visit my sister to go on a mission trip and to travel around Europe for a bit before we came back home, but we didn't unfortunately get to do any of those things. And since I've been home, I've sort of been there's been a couple of verses in my mind in Isaiah. I'm just going to read them here, multitasking. Isaiah 55 verse 8-9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And I've actually been comforted by those verses since we've been home, because they remind me that if we are followers of Christ, then we can have all these great plans, but ultimately God's plan is going to be the best thing for us and for his glory. And God commands us to trust him and to rely on him even in the most difficult of circumstances, and we may never know why we're going through a certain situation, but we can know that as followers of Christ that it's all in His good and perfect plan and will for our lives. And I would encourage you just to, even in our current situation in lockdown, you know, to find the good in the situation. I'm sure it's not what many of us would have planned for this season, but again, yeah, I encourage you just to sort of try and see the good, and to remember that God is in control of everything, and that He has an ultimate plan and purpose in this situation. So yeah, thanks for listening, and hopefully see you all soon. Stay safe. Bye.
Walking the dog. Kids probably a bit further than they should be. One on a scooter and one, for some unknown reason, half dressed in a swimming costume on heelys. So sometimes you'll have to walk too far to find something special. And on Saturday we decided to clear out the garage, just walking over to the house. And I was dreading doing this job because the garage was so disgusting, absolute mess, couldn't face the thought of it. But we did it with a bit of help, and a bit of wind sweat now. And when we cleared out, we found something really special that we weren't expecting. And Sophia's just going to show us. We find that our cat had 4 tiny kittens. Look how small they are. They're absolutely perfect and absolutely beautiful. There we go. 4 lovely babies. And it just got me thinking, during this time of coronavirus, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of stress, a lot of panic about the future and what's going to happen. And sometimes we can't see what's ahead, and we find it hard to trust God because of that. And you know, we dreaded clearing this garage out, and then when we did it, we found something so beautiful at the end of it and so precious, and it has just absolutely made Sophia's week. And so I would just want to think about trusting in God to see what's ahead, that there's things that we can't see that He knows, that He has planned. And in Ecclesiastes He said He has made everything beautiful in its time. And look at these little beauties that we were not expecting. And maybe if we trust in God more, we can look ahead, not knowing what the future holds, but knowing that it's in God's hands, and there's something very beautiful and very special ahead for all of us. Bye guys.
And I'm taking my Saturday morning walk, which is my walk to work. I work in Hillsborough, so I have a nice long avenue through the Hillsborough Forest Park to walk through, and then it brings me into the farmland, which is the agricultural station that I work at. I have found lockdown hard. I don't imagine there's anybody who hasn't found it hard in some shape or form. But I find in these times that I just want to retreat into myself, which isn't healthy, but it's my coping mechanism, I suppose. And I don't really have anything inspirational to say like all the other wonderful ladies, so I thought I would just recite the words of one of my favourite psalms, Psalm 91. Now, I learnt it in the King James, but I've been reading NLT for about 10 years or so, so it's a really mangled version, so bear with me. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my God, my refuge and my shelter. In Him I will trust. Surely He will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings you shall trust. You shall not be afraid of the terror of night, or the arrow that flieth by day, for the pestilence that stalketh in darkness, or for the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with your eyes shall you behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, which is my God, even the Most High, your habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. He will give His angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. They will bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Shall tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon He will trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because He has made known my name. He will call upon me, and I will answer him. I will deliver him from trouble. With a long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. God bless ladies, and hopefully see you all again soon.
I'm walking down the town in Randallstown today. I decided that I would not do the river walk, because you've seen quite a lot of the river walk recently. We love it a lot in Randallstown, so I've actually come down the street today. I'm feeling a bit sad because I'm really such a people person and I just love talking to people. I'm just walking past this wee coffee shop where I would meet with people, meet with friends, meet with colleagues. And he makes very good coffee, but it's not really about the coffee, is it? It's about building relationships. And I know we can do that on Zoom, and I've found that people are very happy to talk on Zoom and happy to talk on the phone during lockdown. And that's great. I've actually talked to people and got to know things about people that I never knew before. And I feel that you can still work in relationships, but we're made for relationships, aren't we? Relationship with God, relationship with our fellow man. And it reminds me of a story in John chapter 4. You can read it. It's a really good story, true story of course, about Jesus meeting a Samaritan woman. She's at a well in the middle of the day, which is the heat of the day. She doesn't want to meet anybody else because she's got a bad reputation. She's had 5 husbands and the man she's living with isn't her husband. So she wants to avoid people, and that's probably no fault of her own. In that society, a man could divorce his wife, or she could have been widowed, but she couldn't divorce him, so who knows. But Jesus didn't judge her. Jesus started talking to her, and she began to get to know him. He already knew everything about her, but asked her questions, and she asked him questions. Where could she get this living water that he could give her? and he told her that he was the Messiah, and she believed him. She was transformed, and she ran into the town and told everyone in the town that she'd met this man that knew everything about her. And very soon they had gone to meet Jesus too and began a relationship with him. And they said to her, now we have heard for ourselves. We're not just believing because you told us. We see for ourselves that this man is the Saviour of the world. So the most important relationship is our relationship with God. If you would like us to pray for you about anything you've heard in any of these little talks, or if you'd like to do an online course about Christianity and this relationship with Jesus, please contact us at our website on www.antrimBaptistChurch.org. We'd love to hear from you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.
Hi ladies! We'd like to thank you for joining us over the last 4 weeks while we did our virtual Walk for Life this year. We didn't really know how it would go, but I think it has been a real success, and we've enjoyed reading your comments and just having some sort of connection with you as we would have done in Walk for Life. It's nice to have the lockdown measures relaxed a wee bit, and we're able now to do some social distancing while we're out walking. So I would encourage you to get out, enjoy the fresh air and the beautiful sunshine. I've dragged this one out and she keeps interrupting me. I can't really concentrate on what I'm saying. Next week, the men are going to join us for a bonus week, and they're going to be sharing a few thoughts while they're out on their walk. So please join in again for that. And next year, hopefully we'll be back in the church, God willing, enjoying Walk for Life as we normally would do. So thanks again for the last 4 weeks, and please join in next week for the bonus one. Take care. Bye. Why did you not talk a wee bit louder? They couldn't hear you.